In order to understand some of the aspects of imperialism in the US, it is first important to understand some of the main players on the national stage. On the one hand, the expansionist Republican Party, spearheaded by William McKinley and the progressive Teddy Roosevelt. But a name often forgotten in American history dominated the Democratic Party during the late 1890s to early 1900s. William Jennings Bryan. Understanding his political motivations allows historians to have a greater grasp on the conflicting ideas of American imperialism. Originally a lawyer from Illinois, Bryan moved to Lincoln, Nebraska, eventually being elected to the House of Representatives in 1890. During this time, farmers in Nebraska were struggling immensely. Due to great advances in agricultural technology, in order to compete, many farmers were forced to go into immense debt to purchase these new machines. Compounding that, expansions in railroads, a financial crash in 1873, originally known as the Great Depression before, the greater one, and a drought in the West, which caused another financial crisis in 1893, really pushed farmers to their breaking points. Many farmers demanded change, and a populist farmers movement known as the Grange Movement culminated and created the Populist Party. Bryan, witnessing this in the struggle of farmers, started advocating for many of the policies of the Populist Party. He ran as a Democrat in 1894 as a senator for Nebraska, but he failed to secure a seat. Despite his loss, he was still immensely popular in the Democratic Party, and he eventually was nominated to the election of 1896 following a very popular Cross of Gold speech. Though he lost in 1896, he ran again in 1900, this time campaigning heavily against William McKinley's imperialist views. Bryan saw imperialism as a moral issue and believed that the United States, as a republic, could not continue as an empire while hosting these territories, often using racist and xenophobic rhetoric, particularly against Filipinos and the occupations of the Philippines during McKinley's presidency. Though he ended up losing in 1900, along with the election of 1908, making him the only major presidential candidate to lose 3 elections besides Henry Clay, due to his influence on the Democrat Party and the way his populism grabbed the attention of thousands of Americans, the anti-imperialist movement continued on through the early 1900s. As a populist, William Jennings Bryan was able to reach many Americans who felt desperate for change. Eventually, moderate Democrats and the old guard of the Democratic Party, such as Grover Cleveland, were coerced into embracing the zeitgeist surrounding Bryan and his followers. As is so often the case with populism, what the leader says goes. After 1900, Bryan and the Democrats embraced an anti-imperialist policy due largely to the influence of William Jennings Bryan and his populist rhetoric.